BBLs ain't cute. If I'm being honest, it's like they look good to an extent.
On July 14, 2025, Joy Taylor was fired from Fox Sports, and she really wasn't that great of a host, to be honest. Not saying that women can't be good hosts, but her, Emmanuel Acho, and the rest of those guys, they were trash.
Woo!
But Joy Taylor was something nice to look at, and that is one thing that I do like about sports shows. I don't necessarily ever see ugly women on sports shows, and I think that's important. But again, she had to go head on and leave, and the allegations about Joy Taylor was, she was screwing Skip Bayless, and she was screwing other guys to basically, get ahead in the company. And so now she's out of the picture. Fast forward. And so this is something that's important because Joy Taylor is pretty, she's mixed, she's had all of the opportunities, but she is almost 38 years old, or she is 38, maybe closer to 39 now. And so with all of the opportunities to meet, a successful man, she's been married and divorced, and the future for her doesn't look so bright because, again, nothing that she's really done, according to the allegations, are merit-based. And when you want to meet or, have a good relationship with somebody or a good business partner, you have to be merit-based. It's good to be pretty and attractive, but what you do for a person every day matters the most. I mean, this is why we love, Apple as a company. This is why we love, YouTube or Google. This is why we love our favorite cars, whether it's Mercedes-Benz or Range Rover or Ford, or, why we like certain items because they're dependable and they are value for money. In a similar way, when you're dealing with a husband or a wife, you want that person or individual to be value for money, to basically be something on the market that you really couldn't find. And Joy Taylor has had that problem competing even in the professional world. So now Joy Taylor has certain other things she's doing, which if you can see her, she's been working out recently, as you can see here, and she has like butt pads, and there are allegations that now she's going down the road of getting the BBL, okay? And we already know what a BBL is. But before we get to that, let's look at the framework that Joy Taylor operates in when it comes to dating.
I want to be able to sit across from you and have a conversation. I do not do awkward. So if we're sitting anywhere at the most beautiful restaurant in the world and you can't carry on a conversation, I don't want to be there. And the main reason is I can afford to eat at this beautiful restaurant by myself, and I like my own company.
Now, this isn't bad at all, in my honest opinion. She's just saying, like, she goes out on a date with somebody, you need to be interactive, and the reason why is she could be somewhere else and she would like your undivided attention. So let's give her a round of applause for that. Yeah, I don't have any problem with a woman saying this because, yeah, I'm guilty of not, giving my attention on a date or whatever, and, and looking like I'm disinterested. So nobody wants to feel that way. So, hey, so far, so good. I mean, I think any person or human being would like this situation. But then here we go.
The only thing that a man can do for me is love me, show up as yourself, be authentic. If we're going for a walk with coffee, great. If we're going to a beautiful, expensive restaurant where you're buying a $2,000 bottle of wine, wonderful. I love expensive wine. And we have a great conversation.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f*** you think you is?
Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road a little bit. So now she's talking about, look, take me out to a nice restaurant. If you want to buy me a glass of wine that's $2,000, yeah, you can do that. Now, all right, let me just talk about this. I get it that Joy Taylor is used to, being around people that have a whole lot of money, but to spend $2,000 on wine and to feel like you can deserve that, it's probably where the rubber meets the road, okay? And this is the issue that I see that, women who have been pretty all their life, or at least been sought after all their life, they have an issue as when they don't really know when the tide is going to turn, right? They don't have any awareness about when their leverage is losing. And when you're Joy Taylor and you're in your 30s and you believe that your leverage is still there when it comes to men, but it's not, and clearly it isn't, because nobody is calling you from ESPN. Nobody is calling you from, MSNBC to get on the show. And you haven't realized like, oh shoot, I don't really bring a whole lot of value to the market, but there you are talking about $2,000 wines. And even if you wouldn't take it, it's just cringe that you would even admit or even say something like that. And, as this should be something that somebody should do for you, right? But it gets worse.
I don't care. Like, there are things I don't want to do. I don't want to go to your house. I'm not going to your house. Movies are okay, but they got to be paired with like dinner, like some time to talk. We're not going to church. I'm not going to meet your family. But other than that, I just think that you should just be creative. Listen to what I want to do. If I tell you my window is 10 a.m. on a Monday, I guess we're going to coffee. That's the window that you got. But this is just me.
So she's talking about all the things that she isn't going to be doing. Okay. She's not going to be in church. You need to listen to what she wants to do. She will not meet your family. Now, when a man hears a woman that speaks like that, I mean, number one, you just sound like somebody who has like so many issues, and you're making the current guy pay for everything else that's been done in your life and all of that. And again, this is just something that somebody doesn't want to deal with. And again, this is what, a lot of ladies like Joy Taylor do. So when they don't want to budge on these non-compromising issues, okay, then women start going to other alternatives and trying to, move the quote unquote goalposts, okay? And we start to really find out why Joy Taylor is what she is.
I am someone who has a lot of trauma. Now, I am in no way like fully recovered from all of the things that I have been through. And I don't know that I ever will be, but I don't think that means that you can't date.
So here Joy Taylor talks about trauma. I have trauma. No shit. Of course you do.
Woo!
And I'm glad that you admitted this, because there are so many ladies who have this particular trauma that they're trying to bring into the new relationship. Don't get me wrong. Men, we also have trauma too, right? But we all had a bad experience where we don't trust people as much as we used to. And that's understandable. The one thing that I feel that women do, they may carry more hurt and pain and animosity than men do into new relationships. Women are more sensitive. They're more sensitive to having their feelings hurt. They're going to guard their feelings a lot more after they have been hurt. Whereas men, will be hurt for a minute and we can still be hurt, but we'll, try again and try to get the girl that we want. And so the reality is that now, Joy Taylor, not only are you unaware of where you are right now in your life, you're telling everybody else that you're traumatic. So you're 38 years old. You have these demands. You want a man who is probably like you, has money like you, and doing very well, and you're traumatic, okay? And so now that you have these issues, you come on to podcast and you admit this.
Oh, what's the youngest to the oldest? Like, what's your range?
Damn, I'm telling myself right now. I would say right now, at my age right now. Yeah, I would not date younger than 25, 26.
That's a
Why
good one.
you laughing?
Why is that funny?
No, because I thought she was going to be on
I thought you would say-
I thought she was going to be on some like 35 to 57.
Me too.
Oh no! I mean, I don't think I could. I don't know. I'm not gonna get up here and lie. Okay, young men are very aggressive and they do not care how old I am. And
Wait, but Joy, I have to ask you, because this is a whole thing with women.
Well, this was on Paul Pierce's podcast. She's saying, listen, the framework that she's developing for, guys to date her, she's finding out that guys don't want to do it. And she even admits it. She says, listen, the younger guys are good because they don't care how old she is.
Damn.
And that's right, because most men that are successful don't want to deal with the woman telling a man what she's not going to do. Let me just say this, okay? As a man, I'm 44 years old. I believe undoubtedly in women's rights. I mean, I was a man born in one of the most liberal states, California. I come from the most matriarchal communities, Del Paso Heights, the black community. So how a lot of us as black men in my generation saw women, it was equality is kind of where it started. All right. We don't have a whole lot of problem with women leadership. But the issue is this. If I'm a man and I've worked very hard, you're not going to be telling me what you're not going to do, especially if you expect me to sacrifice for you. If I'm spending my money on you, I'm doing things for you, I'm making your life easier, and you're telling me that if I want to go to church, you're not going. I need to be listening to what you want me to do. You will not meet my family, but you're okay with me spending $2,000 on wine. Yeah, you're a lost cause, and you've already told me you're traumatic. And not only are you traumatic, you realize you're traumatic and you're not going to get the help that you need. So then why should I be dealing with you? So now what you're doing is you got the BBL now. This is what you're trying to do. You're literally thirst trapping online. And now guys are starting to recognize the play. And this is what happens when women can't get men to recognize their framework for the instructions, that they want you to follow so that you can chase them. When they feel like most men are not going to go for it, what they'll try to do is cheat their way into somebody coming to do it, which is thirst trapping. All right. This is why you see her in this particular, B-roll here in the background and her doing the workout pants. She's looking for somebody to try to come and see what she's working with. And that's why if you go to Black Adam Schefter, you'll see that Joy Taylor is a wild woman. They're trying to get this attention because the guys that they want don't want them. And so now you have these young guys and you're dating these young guys just so that you can say, well, look, these younger guys want me. And it's because you older guys are toxic. It's the same thing that Tracy Ellis Ross is saying. It was the same thing that Lala Anthony was saying. You're getting these young guys because these young guys don't have money. And if they do, they're real young athletes and they have inexperience. All right. And, they don't really know what's going on in the dating world. They don't know that, certain people like Joy Taylor are traumatic. Okay. They don't know what they're dealing with, but they're confident because, hey, this fine ass older lady, wants to go head on and let me do X, Y, and Z to her. So I must be better than all these older guys out here. And you can think that all that you want, but that just doesn't make it true. And these are the situations that we're seeing. Like literally, we're seeing these ladies change right before our eyes. I mean, just a few years ago, Joy Taylor was, having a pretty good career on Fox Sports. And then after a year, she's admitting that nobody will want to date her. People are discounting her age now because she's 38. And it's not because you're just 38. It's because you go onto these talk shows and these podcasts, and any of these guys that will actually listen to what you're saying, they get turned off. And women got to understand that men also get turned off. A lot of the things that you say and do turns off future suitors. I'll give you an example. Cardi B. Cardi B would have had a better opportunity than Stephon Diggs as far as dating is concerned. The reason is she is Cardi B. She's Dominican. People know her, but she was going off on Offset all the time, going off on them on the Twitter spaces and things like that. So nobody wanted to jump out there and be in a relationship with her because look at what she was showing the world. You were crashing out. You were just wild. You're calling a grown man the B word. So what ended up with her? Well, you ended up getting with Stephon Diggs and he has 4 kids on the way along with yours. Woo! And now you're just a side chick in a main style relationship and you're not even the number one chick anymore like you used to be with Offset. And that's all because you can't understand where you are in the market. You're not aware. You're not aware of the things you're doing. You think that whatever you're doing is going to be okay and somebody will just fall for it. Like you can make your demands and somebody's going to get something from dealing with you. But the reality is a lot of the framework that some ladies have, nobody is gaining anything from it. So it's just easy to tell you no or to not want to deal with you. And then when nobody want to deal with you, let's go out here and post thirst trap videos like Tia Mowry. Let's go and show everybody that we're still good looking. And then that somebody will come and give us the man, or God will give you the man that you deserve. Or let's come out here and do, other things like, BBLs and, let's go ahead and put the butt pads out there and whatever the case may be to get some attention. So guys will know that, hey, listen, the last thing that I do have to offer that you might like is this. And you forgot that most guys that got money or got something going on can get that from any place.
Woo!
So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshay Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.